We can just go by position and then do start and sit for each position.
Yeah, that works. You want to do running backs first?
It don't matter.
All right, that's just how I got it set up.
Okay.
I got for my first start, I got Raheem Mostert against Arizona. I just don't like Arizona's defense. I think that they're gonna try to keep the ball like out of Kyler's hands and just milk the clock.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I'm excited to
How,
see him
how,
week 1.
how high was Mostert on ECR for the weekly rankings?
He
I
was
kind of
like
forgot about him.
30 or something like that.
For the weekly, you should be higher than that. Let me see if I'll pull it up real quick. There we go.
He's 19.
For the week?
Yep.
In PPR or what?
Yep. Or wait, nope. Hold on. I got it on half PPR.
Yeah, I had mine all on PPR.
He's 19 on both standard and half PPR.
PPR, he's 21.
On PPR, he's 21.
Yeah, so that's not too bad, really. I think that's probably about right.
Yeah, but like I don't know, if you had him versus like who you start, Melvin Gordon or Raheem Mostert.
Well, that goes into my sit. My sit is Melvin Gordon. Yeah, I just think him and Lindsey are going to split all the touches. They were listed as co-starters, so I ain't touching either one of them. Tennessee's not like the best defense, but it's not the worst either.
Yeah, they're a pretty solid squad.
Yeah, they got better. Like they signed Clowney now, but Clowney's probably not going to play very much. But they lost Jarrell Casey for defensive tackle, so they might be a little bit easier to run against. But I don't think Gordon's going to get enough touches that matters this week.
Who'd you have for a start so we can even up on that?
Start I had Tariq Cohen as long as David Montgomery doesn't play.
That's a good one.
Yeah, but like in ECR he was still pretty high. Like in PPR he was like running back 24. So I think more people are on board with it. But
yeah, especially if Montgomery's out, Detroit's horrible.
I think they're gonna play Montgomery though, so then it kind of like nixes that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of hope they sit him for one more week.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
If he aggravates it, that's kind of pointless.
Mm-hmm. They said he looked good at practice though. It was like he didn't even injure it. It was weird. Or that's what Cohen was saying even.
Yeah, I read he practiced the other day and was like looked fine, but which is good news. I got him really late in a few drafts because people were just so scared of him. I'm like, all right.
Oh, for Montgomery?
Yeah, I was like,
yeah,
I'll take him at this point.
I was taking him a lot in mocks, but then like I wanted him to fall further than he did in most of the drafts, so I only got him in like 1 or 2 drafts.
All right, my second start, I have Sony Michel. I think that game's going to be low scoring. Belichick's going to run the clock out. He's not going to let Cam blow that game. They're going to get a lead early. And I know it's like him and Burkhead, as everyone talking about, but I can see Sony at least getting a touchdown and probably at least 80 yards. He's pretty low ranked, too.
Yeah. My start is Rex Burkhead.
That's funny.
Because Sony coming off that foot injury, I don't see him getting more than 15 carries. So like Burkett's gonna have to get some of the load. So I think he's like you can play him in your flex if you really need to. Like if you're one of these guys that drafted like Galladay and Evans and these Sutton, these guys that aren't playing, and then you got to move like your flex over to wide receiver, you could throw him in there in a pinch. And I don't think defense is that good. But like especially like in PPR, because Burkhead he's gonna catch a couple passes, and then if he gets 12 carries and 3 receptions, he'll be all right.
Yeah, he's pretty deep down there too.
Yeah, he was running back 51 in weekly ECR. So like he's free and like in pretty much every league I'm in, he's on the waiver wire. Like you can just go get him.
Right.
And I looked at DraftKings the other day and like he's $4,000 on DraftKings, which is like free.
I got you. What's the limit on DraftKings? What's your budget?
It's usually 50,000 that you get.
You.
But like 4,000 is like the cheapest running backs you can get. There's a couple good ones this week though.
What was your second start?
No, Burkhead and Cohen were my 2
starts. Yep.
And then my first sit was Melvin Gordon. My second one is Cam Akers.
Okay.
Like he's running back 30 in ECR, and like where people drafted him, like you pretty much have to like start him.
Yeah, I'm a wait on Cam Akers as well,
Yeah.
just to see what happens.
I think Malcolm Brown's going to get 14 carries, and then Akers might get like 8, and it's just not like it's not going to be worth it. Like anybody that's in like a running back by committee approach, like this week, I don't even want to touch.
Yeah, you got to wait and see, especially even like any of the rookies. Like Taylor's really high, but I still am nervous. My two sits were Le'Veon Bell. I think the Bills will stack the box, dare Darnold to throw. I think they're gonna give freaking Gore some carries. They're gonna do some weird Adam Gase type shit, and he makes me nervous.
See, I don't mind Bell as much this week. Like I'm fine. Like if you're going to start him like as your RB2 or your flex, because I think like Perriman's got the bulky knee. He's not going to do anything against White anyways. And then Denzel Mims, he hurt his other hamstring now too. So it's like at least get a couple. He'll get enough touches to kind of do something, but he's not going to be great.
Yeah, he just makes me nervous. Like I would probably start Michelle over Bell.
In PPR though?
I don't know. Mostly I play in half, but yeah, I would definitely be considering it. I just feel like Miami, that defense is horrible, and the Bills are actually pretty good. My second running back sit was Nick Chubb. I can see Baltimore just getting a huge lead on them and them focusing on Kareem Hunt and just throwing the ball like crazy, seeing if Baker's gotten any better over the past year. Chubb's like always been great when they're in a close game and they can just feed him like crazy. I don't really see it this week.
Yeah, I thought about Chubb a little bit as well. It just depends on like how much they split up the carries early.
I mean, a lot of these guys, like if you drafted them, you're almost forced because it's week 1. It's like you got to play your studs. If you took Chubb in round 2, like you're not going to freaking sit him. But
you'd have to have like some pretty good other matchups to sit him.
Right.
Yeah. And especially because we don't know how many carries he's going to get. It's not like you're going to sit him and then like if you sit him and he gets 18 carries, you're going to be pissed too.
Well, them re-signing Hunt too, like everyone in Dynasty who had Chubb was just like, oh well, next year Hunt's going to be gone. It's going to be great. Like now it's like,
I was so mad in Dynasty because I have Hunt a lot in Dynasty, and then I thought he'd go somewhere else, and then they give him that, and I'm like, oh great.
Yeah, it hurts them both really.
Yeah, but then maybe Chubb leaves after next year.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know.
They're both young still, though.
All right, let's go to wide receiver. Who do you have for your first start?
This one's probably somebody everybody's got, Deshaun Jackson. ECR's only got him at wide receiver number 33. He already tore up the Redskins last year, and their corners are even worse than they were last year. So,
yeah, he seems to always have like a good week 1 too. I feel like he comes out firing and then gets hurt or slows down.
Yeah, I saw a stat the other day. It's like his last 6 years in week 1, he averages like 6 catches, 111 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, I could see it. I thought about him too. He was kind of low down there. I have a low guy too, but my first guy was Cooper Kupp. It's got a super high over under in Vegas, and they just target him in the red zone. And with that, like weird, them trying to figure out running backs, I can see him catching a touchdown or 2.
I don't know who Dallas is going to play in the slot for the nickel.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I mean,
yeah,
they always figure out a way to get him open in the red zone, I feel like.
Yeah, because I don't feel like Diggs is the rookie, but I don't feel like they'll put him in the nickel. They might play the Awuzie or whatever his name is in there, and he sucks.
Yeah.
I think it's a good matchup for him and Robert Woods, really.
Yeah, I like that game a lot for points.
Mm-hmm.
Who was your second running back start or wide receiver start? Excuse me.
Second, I actually wrote 3 down in general, but my second one was Marvin Jones, especially kind of if Kenny Galladay's going to miss now.
Yeah.
The Bear, like even if he gets Fuller on him, he's still like going to be good. Like with Stafford, they said when he got 10 targets from Stafford and PPR, he's averaged 23 points a game. So he's still a good wide receiver. It's early in the year, so he's not hurt yet. So
I think that was on our bold thing too. Was like Marvin Jones and Galladay are like almost the same player, and you're paying 5 rounds up for Galladay.
Mm-hmm.
My second wide receiver start was Anthony Miller in the same game. He's had like a great camp supposedly. No Slay. I feel like that defense is going to be trash as usual, and I can see him catching a touchdown or two. I can see the Lions putting up points, but they're going to have to ask Trubinsky to throw, and I think they're going to want to see what they have in Trubinsky the first couple weeks.
Mm-hmm. Well, Trubisky, the only team he plays good against is the Lions too.
Yeah.
He's averaging like 290 yards and 3 touchdowns a game against him. And then Miller's like 2 best games last year were against the Lions too.
Yeah, I could definitely see him going off, and he's pretty far down there.
And then the other guy that I had for a start too was Jamison Crowder. He was down at number 36, but he's going to get all the targets for the Jets.
See, that was actually on my don't plays. So Crowder, that's like the lowest over under of the week. Bills defense, and honestly, if everyone's hurt, I could if Crowder starts getting a ton of looks, they could even slap Tre'Davious White on him and just watch him do nothing.
I don't think they'll move White to the slot though.
If they have no one on the outside and all they're doing is chucking it to Crowder, I feel like he's going to catch a lot of attention. It's either going to be him or Herndon.
Yeah.
That's their only 2 options.
On Herndon before that happens.
We'll see.
And then the 2 best games against the Bills defense for a wide receiver, 2 of the 3 best games against the Bills defense for a wide receiver last year were Jamison Crowder. The other one was Jarvis Landry. They were all 3 slot guys.
It makes sense. They probably ignore the slot a little bit, but when you see like every other receiver on the team is hurt, like the defensive coach is not an idiot. Like they know Crowder's going to be involved.
Yeah, like if Crowder's on the side, they might move White over, but I don't think they're going to like move him in the slot full time and try to cover him either.
Are Mims playing? Or
I don't think
the other guy there.
I think he's out. I think Mims is out because he hurt one of his hamstrings early on in camp. Now he hurt the other one.
Right.
And then Perriman's been off and on with the bad knee. They keep calling it a bulky knee, but he's going to play. But he's going to go against White, and he's going to have no catches because he's.
Well, yeah, if he's got a bulky knee,
that good, and he's hurt, and then he's got White on him. Like I think they're going to start Chris Hogan at the other wide receiver.
Yeah, that's an ugly freaking lineup.
Yeah. It's like you might as well just put Le'Veon Bell out at wide receiver at this point.
Did you do your sits yet?
Yeah, I got the sits for the wide receiver. Oh no, I didn't say him yet. My first sit's Amari Cooper. Going against Jalen Ramsey, and he's already banged up, so I don't think he's going to do anything.
Yeah, he was on my list of maybe toss into the sits. I'm nervous about him this week, but especially just with all the wide receiver talent, it's going to be like a really telling week for Dallas.
Mm-hmm. I actually like CeeDee Lamb and Blake Jarwin a lot this week.
Yeah, Jarwin's on my tight end starts.
Yeah.
Who was your second sit for wide receiver?
My second one was AJ Green. He's going against Casey Hayward, who's one of the best corners in the league, and then he's going to be on a snap count too. And he's still like wide receiver number 31 in ECR for the week.
Right.
So, like unless he gets a real big play, like I don't see him doing much.
I got you.
Risk.
I'm excited about AJ Green, not this week, but for the season, I'm excited.
Yeah, if he's healthy, if he's healthy, I'd play him. Like, but just this week, like even if he's out there only for like 20 snaps, he's not like you gotta have one big play to even be worth it.
Right. My second wide receiver sit was Devontae Parker. That's a low over under game. They're gonna have Stephon Gilmore on him all game. It's just that makes me nervous. I know he was drafted like mid round, so a lot of people are kind of forced into playing him, but if you can, I'd avoid it this week.
Yeah, he lit Gilmore up the last time he played against him, but Parker's been banged up too the last couple of weeks. So.
Yeah. So let's go to tight end.
You still have another wide receiver sit?
Okay.
You do.
I only have 2, but I had Crowder and Parker.
Oh, Crowder. There we go. I forgot about Crowder because I started talking about him before.
What's a tight end start for you?
I got 3. We kind of talked about Jarwin already, so I'll kind of go in with him. They're playing against the Rams. The Rams were okay against the tight end last year, but they lost Corey Littleton, the linebacker, to the Raiders. So I think Darwin's got a good matchup here.
Yeah, I said the same thing. Also, that game's supposed to be really high scoring.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's one thing I always check like before the week is kind of where Vegas has these games at. Like, it's not always right, but they make their money, and I try to start guys in matchups where it's like huge over under. That game's supposed to be pretty big,
especially if you're playing in like DFS.
Oh yeah.
And I think let's see, what was Jarwin? Jarwin was 4,700 there, so on DraftKings, so that wasn't too bad for tight end. But Dak also likes throwing the ball to the tight end a lot too. So
yeah, and with freaking Gallup, Lamb, and Cooper, it's like the defense has to just be nervous at every position. It's nuts.
Like they have to cover him with a linebacker pretty much, and Jarwin's pretty athletic. It's not like you're gonna put a safety on him when you got to like worry about all those guys on the outside too.
Yeah. I had Jarwin as one of my tight end starts, and then my second one was Jared Cook. I just think that Breeze Brady game is going to be a great game, and then I can see him catching a touchdown or two even.
Yeah, he's a guy I didn't mind, but then the two other guys I got are Hayden Hurst and Eric Ebron. Hurst is going against Seattle, and they were pretty bad against the tight end last year. I know they brought in Adams, but they're probably not going to use him to cover the tight end as much. And then Eric Ebron goes against the Giants, and the Giants linebackers are like awful.
Yeah, the Giants are pretty awful, and except for their running back.
And then they lost McKinney, the safety that they drafted too out of Alabama. So it's like Ebron, he's just one of them guys. If he gets that touchdown, he'll have a good week. And
I mean, that's tight end pretty much. Mm-hmm. If you don't have like top 3 guys, you're just looking for a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
So you did Jarwin and Ebron.
Yeah, I had Hayden Hurst in there too. I kind of had 3, but we both kind of talked about Jarwin a little bit.
Yeah. What'd you have for sits?
So my sit I had was Gronk.
I have Gronk too.
Because he was at tight end 11. It's kind of like with the running back situation. You got so many tight ends there. It's like you don't know who Brady's actually going to throw the ball to. So,
or if he's even going to throw to the tight end at all.
I mean, yeah, if Arians is going to use the tight end. I don't know. There's too much talk about O.J. Howard and Cameron Brate's still a decent tight end, and it's just like.
Yeah, I have him in that same sort of thing, like you said with Akers. Like I want to see it first before I would throw him in the lineup there, and then, possibly get like a point.
Yeah, and then maybe Gronk's on it. Maybe he's even on a snap count too.
Right. Yeah, he hasn't been the healthiest fellow. He's been off for a year and a half or whatever. My other tight end sit was Darren Waller. I feel like they just brought in a ton of weapons there, and they're going to want to try to use them. Also, like Waller's whole game last year was they just volume. That was their main guy, and I feel like also Jacobs could like take over that game, and then they're just running it. Like,
yeah,
Waller was best when they were chasing. Like they just had garbage time. Waller.
Yeah, he's got a good matchup though too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not afraid of Carolina at all, but
he's like one of
he's pretty high up there.
Him, play him, but if like you got somebody else that's really got a good matchup, then maybe you play somebody else. But
I would play a few of the guys we just named over him, but I mean, if you took him early, you're not gonna sit him. But
yeah,
I think he's like 5th in ECR, and I could see him out of the top 20 this week, just to see what they have in Edwards, what they have in Ruggs. We'll see, but they drafted basically a whole new offense besides the running back and Waller, so he makes me nervous.
My other one was Tyler Higbee.
Yeah, that's a good one. But
I don't know, Dallas's linebackers aren't that bad, and then like Everett's back, so it's like who they actually going to throw to when it matters.
Right.
Plus,
yeah, I mean, that was kind of my reason for just not drafting Higbee, but if you fell for it, I feel like you're going to play him.
Yeah, unless you drafted somebody else that's got a better matchup, or you got the space to put somebody else in. Because like I feel like if you did draft Higby and you really wanted to wait and see, and you drafted another tight end, or you got somebody else you could kind of stream, that would make sense to me too.
Right.
But like I wouldn't trust him week one.
I hate carrying two tight ends too, though. Like, unless you have Kelsey and he's about to go on freaking bye, like why? You know, if you don't have a top 5 guy, there's no reason to have two tight ends on your team.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more this year if people were worried about the COVID and expand if they have expanded benches or something. But that's about the only way I see it. Otherwise,
What'd you have for your QB start?
Yeah, I put 2 guys down. They're both in the same game though. I got Derek Carr and Teddy Bridgewater.
I got you.
They're like 2 of my favorite streamers for the week. I think that game's going to be more high scoring than people think too, and both defenses suck.
Yeah, they definitely are lacking in the defense department. I had Ben Roethlisberger. I feel like it's a Monday night game. He's been hurt all year. I can see him throwing 3 TDs and 300 yards easily.
Yeah. See, my thing with him is just the first game back, and traditionally he's not good on the road. So
I got you.
that's like if I wanted to stream him, I probably would, but most of the leagues that I would have streamed him, I picked up Derek Carr anyways.
Right. I thought about Cam too, just same sort of thing. Miami's horrible.
I picked up Cam in a couple leagues, but I think I'm only starting him in one league, the Superflex one that we were in.
Yeah.
But I actually started him and Derek Carr in that league.
All right. What was your QB sit?
So I put down 2. I got my 2 were Tom Brady and Carson Wentz.
Okay.
Wentz is mainly because the Redskins, their defensive line is really good. And then the Eagles' offensive line, they're obviously missing their left tackle, their right guard. I know they brought Jason Peters back now, but he's old and he gets hurt all the time too. Like I think Deshaun Jackson could still have a good game and Carson Wentz could suck. Or like not be that good. Like they don't have to be that good to beat the Redskins or the Washington football team either.
Right. Yeah.
And then with Tom Brady, I got like this weird feeling that everybody thinks this game's going to be real high scoring, and it's just like not going to be that high scoring. And like, say Mike Evans doesn't play, and like the Saints defense is continually improved, and maybe Brady's just not that great week one.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm thinking it's going to be a decently high scoring game, but I would definitely be nervous to start Brady week one. I'm starting Breeze in a few leagues. That goes into actually my Kyler Murray, or my QB sit was Kyler Murray. Just because the defense from San Francisco is amazing. I like Kyler Murray actually for the season, but like this week in a few leagues, the ones I do have him, I got Breeze or Cam and replaced him.
So you're not playing Kyler at all week one?
I'm playing Breeze over him in a few leagues, so if you can get a decent starter, no. But if you have Kyler and you're going with like Derek Carr or something, I'd stick with Kyler. But for me, I think Breeze comes out firing this week, and then I will probably drop him and stick with Kyler after that.
I feel like this would be the one week I would actually like play Emmanuel Sanders all year if I was going to play him too.
Right. Yeah, this is like, I don't know. I'm excited for that game. In the one league I took Kyler. I took Breeze like real late because I was just like, man, I don't want to start him week one. And I hate drafting guys that are like that. But he was the last of a tier and he fell.
He didn't play that bad against the 49ers last year, though.
Yeah, I don't know. They make me nervous this year. And hopefully he does well because then you can play him because they got to play him twice. So
yeah, and then did you say your start of the week for quarterback?
No. Well, my like start of the week or I did Roethlisberger.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But then we had one more, and mine was Chris Godwin. I know he's ranked high, but I can see him coming out like being the number 1 wide receiver on the week.
Do you worry about him if Evans doesn't play and he gets Lattimore on him?
Yeah, I'd like Evans to play typically, but I feel like if Evans plays, he's gonna be more of a decoy anyway. So, like, hopefully Evans plays for Godwin's sake, and they put Lattimore on Evans, and then Godwin can just flow.
Because if he gets like Williams on him, it's over. But if he gets Lattimore, it's a big difference.
Yeah, he's the shutdown guy that you worry about for sure.
Yeah. So my big start of the week would be Tyler Lockett going against those Atlanta corners they're very young and unproven.
Right.
Especially like say he gets AJ Terrell on him, I think he'll eat him for breakfast.
Yeah, that should be an interesting game too. I want to see definitely like how the Falcons use Hurst and just everything that's new, and then
should be one of the high scoring games of the week too, and it'd be interesting to see like how much they actually use Todd Gurley too.
Yeah, that's gonna be a weird thing. They pretty much are gonna have. I mean, who's behind him? Like they don't have
Smith,
much.
Brian Hill,
Yeah,
Audrey Olson.
I feel like they're gonna run friggin' Gurley into the ground.
Yeah, he's got a 1-year deal, so they're just going to use him as much as they can. But with offensive coordinator Dirk Cutter, he's never had like a top 14 running back as an offensive coordinator. He loves to throw the ball. So
yeah, Gurley was kind of on my do not draft list this year, but
he's one of them guys. Like if you got him in the late third round, I'm fine with that. But like if any earlier than that, he's just like, yeah.
I just didn't see it because at that point, there's usually like receivers I love. So why would I go with a running back I'm nervous about? Unless you put yourself in a hole and you took like 2 receivers first.
Mm-hmm. Or unless you went like running back, wide receiver, and then you take him as like your second RB.
Right. But even at that point, it's like I'd rather take a Robert Woods and then wait and grab whoever else is left when you get back around.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice. Drafts are like pretty much over, and we can start seeing football.
Yeah, I have to worry about everybody now.
Well, yeah, and just like to see, even just the other night, it's like okay, you got to see it a little bit, and like you can actually start instead of like hypothesizing on shit from last year and which defenses are like guessing which defenses are going to be good this year is like always hard every year.
Yeah, well, it changes so much too, and they said. I was reading something the other day where they're just talking about like the most commonly drafted defense usually doesn't even finish like in the top 6.
Yeah, well, I feel like defenses like they go on a run, like they start doing good, and then that momentum carries them. Like a few years ago, the Bears, like every game, we're getting like 2 turnovers and a touchdown. You're like, fuck.
Well, last year you had the Patriots. The year before that, you had the Bears. The year before that, you had Jacksonville. And then
yeah, and the year before that, you had Seattle.
Yeah.
It was like every year those like the first defense taken was trash.
So this year the Patriots will suck.
We'll see. I think they're pretty good week 1, but
we'll see. Like, I think the Dolphins are going to give them more of a good run for their money than people think, though, too.